all the time. I didn't give him anything really. He earned that, so I'm thrilled for him because he really worked for it. All he wanted was a chance, and he made it happen.
When you look at, you have one more open. I'm sure right now you're scouring the landscape like everybody else.
It's a little different now too because there's so many transfers and there's still a few good players left, but there's a lot of transfers of guys that are thinking about transferring and a lot of coaching changes and a lot of movement. So we'll see. We have one. It's great to have in case we find the right guy this year, but it will also be great going into next year if we don't use it this year.
Now, you've been opposed to the grad transfer rule.
Still am.
Would that preclude you from grabbing a grad transfer?
No, because we play against them. Yeah, so I would definitely grab. I would definitely, if the right grad transfer presented himself, we would take him. Because typically we end up playing against them.
Is there a position you're specifically looking at?
Well, I would think it would probably be in the backcourt if we did something.
What's your general philosophy on this? Just get the first best guy, or are you just going to be really patient for that right fit, or what?
It would be a right fit. I think in fairness, I'm assuming you're still talking about a grad transfer. In fairness, that has to be the right situation. As a freshman, you're still looking for the right fit, but you wouldn't be as concerned. Grad transfer he doesn't want to go somewhere and sit on a bench. That's why. Otherwise, he'd stay where he was.
With Pete, have you had many conversations with him? How's his prospects looking at this point?
It's pretty much exactly that. He's going through the process. It's foreign territory for everybody. There's a lot of guys in that same position, so he'll get it figured out. Obviously, will he get invited to the combine? That would be a question. Will he get NBA workout opportunities? When those decisions are determined, then that will make it a little more clear for him in terms of his path.
The point guard right now, you got Christian, who played a little bit there. You got Jordan. What are your prospects there? Especially if you don't
pretty
bring
much
them in.
right now, it's those two guys. We got other players that can dribble the basketball, but in terms of point guards, those are the two guys. Yeah.
Was it any surprise that those two guys left, or did you kind of see it coming, Brandon and Andrew?
I don't know that it's ever a complete surprise. The hardest thing with both of them is that they both are spectacular people. It's a lot easier when they're a little disruptive or they're just not buying in. Those kids, both of them, to a man, bought in and gave us everything they had. And those are the guys you root for. So they're just looking for more of an opportunity to play, because I don't think they felt that it was going to be as available as maybe they'd once hoped. So we'll do everything we can to help them, and it will be easy to recommend them.
Were you surprised that Adam and Mike especially didn't get invited to Portsmouth?
Well, I think in the last 59 years they probably would have. But because of the changes this year, the underclassmen getting invited to the combine forced a lot of seniors into Portsmouth that would normally have declined. So it's a new world for everybody. It's really unfortunate. I think Adam in particular, there's no question he would have been invited any other year but this one. And so it's unfortunate for him, but they'll both still get plenty of NBA workouts.
What do you see for Dale next year, Fran?
Well, I think Dale's going to be a real good player for us. Assuming that, he has had no setbacks, thank God for that. He's done everything he's supposed to do with his rehab. The surgery had gone well. He's a talented player. He's 235, he's 6'8", he's long. He can shoot the three. He's a rebounder. Defensively, he needed some work, but he was really getting better in that area. Because, in his mind, if I score and rebound, that'll be enough. And pretty much his whole life, that's what he's done. At this level, you got to play a little more defense. But he really dug in and was getting down in his stance. I'm excited about him, quite honestly.
Some of your schedules kind of with the Seton Hall games out there and the Virginia.
I'm not allowed to talk about that for some reason, so you can talk about that. Virginia is because we knew who the four teams were. Now we know who we're going to play.
Yeah.
So,
what do you see Jared projecting as the next level? I'm sure he'll get a combine.
Oh, I would be shocked if he did. I think he's in a great place. he's a forward. I don't know that you really specify anymore in terms of number. This doesn't work that way. And what was Draymond Green? Nobody really thought he was a 5, but he plays a lot of 5, but he plays 3 and he plays 4. He's just a front court guy, and that's essentially what Jared is. He's a front court guy who can make shots, he can make plays, he defends, he rebounds. He's not a mistake guy. And typically, that's who gets paid.
What about Isaiah? How did that year help him, and what do you expect?
Well, I think it was critical for him just to try to figure it out, learn the offense, just figure out the defensive concepts. He's a terrific athlete with a pretty complete skill set. He can shoot it, he can drive it, he's got an incredible burst. He's one of those guys who's going to be a real good player for us next year, but I think as time goes on, his upside is even more dramatic, and I'm excited for him.
Marble made a big leap, from year 1 to...
Marble was a little ahead of Isaiah. He was ahead of Isaiah in terms of his game. But Isaiah is a really good three-point shooter, and very few people have the burst that he does to go by people, and then when he gets to the rim to explode above the rim. Those are pretty spectacular gifts to have, and he's got them. He just has to tighten up his game a little bit, change speeds a little bit. He's always going 100 miles an hour. When he slows down and then uses that incredible speed, he'll be that much more effective.
Okay, thanks.